Welcome back, students. So we will start our next chapter, that is stars and the solar system. So the branch of physics which deals with the study of celestial objects, that is known as astronomy. It's a branch of physics that deals with the study of celestial objects. That is called astronomy. So people who study the universe are called astronomers, and the most important instrument used by astronomers is telescope. So with the help of this telescope, they will be able to view the stars and the other celestial objects, and they will study about the celestial objects. So astronomy is a branch of physics. Astronomy is a branch of physics or science that deals with or that studies celestial bodies and their associated phenomena. It is associated with the study of the evolution of universe, the motion of celestial objects and their information. In ancient time, astronomers used to study the sky and observe the changes in it at the night time. With these methodological observations, they used to devise calendars. They also help in predicting the climate of a place and the rainfall patterns. These interpretations used to help the farmers in choosing the correct crops for a certain season and in finding the right time to sow the seeds. Their interpretations also help in deciding various festivals in India and occurrence of seasons. Nowadays, there are computers that help in methodological observations of the sky. So, in ancient time, people used to study the nature or study the sky at night, and they will utilize or they will use their interpretations for so many things. That is, they will with the help of this interpretation, they will choose which is the best suitable climate to sow a seed. What about the changes in climate or changes in seasons? They will decide the various festivals in India. All these are related to the study of the celestial objects in ancient days. Now also we are doing the same thing, but all these things are done with the help of computers. Okay. Then celestial body or celestial objects. A celestial object can be defined as any natural object outside the Earth atmosphere. A celestial object can be defined as any natural object outside the Earth atmosphere. Celestial objects or heavenly bodies are objects in space such as sun, moon, planets and stars. So, sun, moons, planets, satellites. Satellites means natural satellites. Comets, galaxies, all those things can be considered as celestial objects. A natural celestial object visible in the sky such as a star, planets, natural satellite, asteroid, comet, moon or sun. So, any natural object outside the Earth's surface or outside the Earth atmosphere can be defined as a celestial object. Okay, can be defined as a celestial objects. The stars, the planets, the moon and other objects in the sky are called celestial objects. Then here we will study in detail about the moon. The moon, the change in the shape of moon every day is one of the observation of the celestial bodies that we can make. Okay, we can observe the moon and there will be a change in the shape of the moon every day. There will be a change in the shape of the moon every day. So that is a one observation. That is the one observation of the celestial objects we can make. We know that moon is a natural satellite of earth and that revolves around the earth in a fixed orbit. Only one natural satellite is for our earth, that is moon, and it will revolve around the earth in a fixed orbit. Just like the earth, other planets of the solar system also have their own moons or natural satellites. Just like earth, other planets of the solar system, that is Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, all those other planets of the solar system also have their own natural satellite. Then some planets are there, they do not have their own natural satellite. Then moon does not emit light of its own, but it will reflect the light of the sun falling on it. Moon is a non-luminous object. It cannot emit its own light or it cannot produce its own light, but it will reflect the light from the sun falling on it and we will be able to see the moon. Okay. So, moon is a non-luminous object. It will reflect the sunlight falling on it and we will be able to see the moon. Then, however, as the moon revolves around the earth, a part of the moon that faces the sun gets to light up while the other part remains in dark. So, as the moon revolves around the sun, only one part is visible for us. The other part will remain dark. This results in different shades of the moon in the sky. These shades of the sunlit part of the moon are called phases of moon. Okay. So, the shades of the moon changes every day. That depends upon the the shape of the moon changes every day. It is due to when moon faces the sun gets light up and the other portion will remain in the dark, and that results in the different shades of the moon, and that is known as phases of moon. The shades of lit part of the moon are called phases of moon. Phases of moon. The day on which the whole disk of the moon is visible is known as full moon day. Full moon day. The whole disk of the moon is visible. While a day on which a small portion of the moon is visible, that is new moon day, various shades of the bright part of the moon seen during a month is known as the phases of moon. The phases of moon occurs as we see only the part of the moon which reflect the light from the sun towards us. So, the phases of moon occurs as we see only the part of the moon which reflect the light of sun falling on it. So, it will reflect the sunlight falling on it towards us. So, that only that part will be visible to us. The phases of moon repeats after every 29 days and there are 8 major moon phases. The phases of the moon repeats after every 29 days and there are 8 major moon phases. The day when we see the whole moon is a full moon day. On this day, the sunlight falls all over the moon. So, we will see the full disk of the moon. Okay. That is known as a full moon day. As now the moon revolves and changes its position, the part which receives sunlight starts to decrease and the moon appears as it is going thinner and thinner. So, as the moon revolves around the earth, what will happen? As the moon revolves around the sun, the position of the moon also changes and the part which receives sunlight start to decrease and the moon appears as it is getting thinner. On the 15th day after full moon day, moon becomes completely invisible or no light of sun falls on it due to its position behind the earth. This is called new moon day. That is new moon day. Okay. So, after 15th day, after this full moon day, the moon becomes completely invisible. The reason is that the light from the sun will not fall on the moon because the moon is just behind the earth, and that is known as a new moon day. Then next day, a small portion of the moon will be appearing on the sky, that is known as the crescent moon. From this day, the moon starts growing larger until the 15th day when it reaches its full shape, that is a full moon day again. Okay. So, these are the phases of moon. So, this one is a full moon day. Now, what will happen is that after the full moon day, the sunlight portion of the moon will goes on decreasing, and on the 15th day after full moon day, we will not be able to see the moon at all. That means the moon is invisible to us. The reason is that the moon is behind the earth. So, we will not be able to see moon on that day. That is known as the new moon day. Okay, no moon is visible on that day. Next day, we will see a small portion of the moon, that is known as the crescent moon. Then on the 15th day after new moon day, again full moon is visible to us, that is known as full moon day. So, this is about the phases of the moon. Okay. It will take 29 days to complete it. Waning phase of moon, it is a phase of the moon in which it decreases in size. So, this portion, it will decrease in size. Then, waxing phase of moon means it is the shape of the moon in which increases in size. Okay, which increases in size. So, that is known as waxing phase of moon. Full moon day we can see the full disk. Now, new moon day we will not be able to see the moon. The next day where a small portion of the moon will be visible, that is known as the crescent moon, and it will take 29 days to complete the lunar cycle. Then festivals in India associated with the phases of the moon. Diwali is celebrated on a new moon day. Mahashivratri is also celebrated on the 13th night of the waning moon. Eid al-Fitr is celebrated on the day following the crescent moon. Guru Nanak birthday is celebrated on the full moon day. Okay. Then blue moon, generally there occurs one new moon day every month. However, at times there can be two new moon days in a single month. Then the second new moon day or the second new moon is in a month is called blue moon. Okay. So, generally only one new moon will occur in one month. Sometimes two new moons will be there in a month. Then the second new moon is known as blue moon. The phases of moon hold an importance in the Indian society and culture, as different festivals in India are celebrated depending upon the phases of the moon. That is, Diwali is celebrated on new moon day, Guru Nanak birthday is celebrated on full moon day, Mahashivratri is celebrated on the 13th night of waning moon, and Eid al-Fitr is celebrated on a day following the crescent moon. Now, how the surface of the moon looks like? So, from this figure you will be able to see that the surface of the moon is not a smooth and clear one. Okay. The surface of the moon is barren and is almost covered with dust. There are craters or ball-shaped cavities present on the surface of the moon. So, these portions are known as the craters. Okay. There are steep and high mountains present in huge numbers on the moon. Some of the mountains are as high as the highest mountains found on the earth. There is no presence of water and atmosphere on the moon. The moon's gravity is 6 times weaker than the earth's. So, it is so weak that it does not have any atmosphere. That is why we can't hear on the surface of the moon. Hence, the astronauts of the moon cannot hear each other. They usually use signs or microphones to communicate with each other. So, the surface of moon is not a smooth one. It is barren and it is full of dust. So many craters are there on the surface of the moon. Steep and high mountains are present in the moon. The height of some mountains are as high as the highest mountain found on the earth. There is no presence of water and atmosphere on the moon. So, since there is no atmosphere, the astronauts cannot talk to each other. They will not be able to hear anything because sound needs a medium for its propagation. So, to communicate with each other, either they will use a sign language or they will use microphones. Okay. Thank you.